So what we need to, we have got about 10 minutes now. Before that, we will, little bit we'll cover and then do the problem. We have completed now cost sheet, material, labor. The next important thing in under this is coming overheads. Very, very important because conceptually a lot of students have problems in this. So we got about 10 minutes now. Now, in that, one of the overheads is semi-variable costs, which are there. How to segregate the semi-variable cost? There are different methods: graphical method, line of best fit, high and low point method, analytical method, comparison of period or level of activity method, least square method, not less, least square method. Now, how do you calculate under high point, low point? Because generally this is what is used easily. Determine the sales value and the total cost at the highest volume and the lowest volume. So if few data are given at different sales values at different volume levels, you take the highest and lowest, compute the difference in sales value and difference in cost. Compute cost as a percentage of sales value, the difference in total cost divided by total sales value. Variable, so compute variable cost at either the highest or the lowest level as sales into variable cost into that percentage above. Therefore, what you will get is the fixed cost, because each place what will happen is the fixed cost which is there, that will be same. So the idea is like this: the cost that is there, if cost only is given, then sales you don't have to bother, you can just take the change in cost. Yes, sales is also mentioned, but if sales is not given, don't bother about it. You can directly, only with cost you can calculate. See, it is like this: normal variable cost, fixed cost, how does it go? Like this. This fixed all across, these are the production levels. As you produce, still the cost remains the same, it doesn't change. That is fixed cost. Now, as far as variable cost is concerned, it moves like this. From zero, it will go like this. As you produce, the cost goes up. Now, what about uh, variable cost, semi-variable cost? It has got both fixed cost as well as variable cost. Therefore, it is like this. This goes straight, and this goes from here like this. That's the idea. So what they are asking you to find out is how much is the fixed cost. Once you find the fixed cost, then it will be easy. How do you do it? Now take the highest point cost and the lowest point cost. Now mind you, wherever point, this is the quantity. This is the quantity at highest point, lowest point. So if you take at these 2 points, so let us take this as 5,000. Total is say 45,000. Just giving a random example. And the quantity is 1,000 and here is 2,000. Suppose this is coming to 75,000. So what we need to understand, this 5,000 is remaining same here all across, right? So that benefit, so actually the change in this cost, semi-variable cost, is the change in your variable cost also. So mind you, what is your semi-variable cost? Semi-variable cost is your fixed cost also is there and your variable cost, both are there built up into that. But out of that, this remains same. So at this level, you got fixed cost plus variable cost. At this level also fixed cost plus variable cost. But the fixed cost is same, right? 5,000, 5,000. So when you take the difference, this doesn't matter. This gets cut off. So only the variation, what you get is of the variable cost only. So that divided by the change in quantity, you will get variable cost rate per unit. So try to understand that at two levels when you take, it has got a fixed cost which is remaining same at both places. Only what change happens because when you take this minus this, suppose this is the highest point cost, this is the lowest point cost. If you take that, this value and this value, this minus this 5,000, so this will get this cut. So what will remain? Variable cost only and variable cost only, and quantity at this point and this point quantity. When you take, you are actually dividing variable cost change divided by quantity change. Therefore, you'll get variable cost per unit. This is one fundamental thing that you need to understand. Easy way of calculating. That's what is the highest point, low point calculation. So what I'll do is I'll just continue a little bit. After that, when there is a break, you just try the problem for 5 minutes. You can get it, then we'll join back and do it. Once. So that is one of the type of problem. This problem number 1 is that only. So let me just go to problem number 1 and then discuss that and then come back. Following are the maintenance costs. This only cost is there. In a machine shop for 6 months with corresponding machine hours, analyze semi-variable maintenance cost into fixed and variable. So there are 2 levels. So all these months are there. Which is the highest for this cost wise? Which month is highest?
April.
April. So April is the highest. That is one. And the lowest?
March.
Therefore, you have to take the change of this divided by the change of this. You will get variable cost. Once you get variable cost, you can put it in any of them. You will find out the fixed cost. I wanted to find out the fixed cost. That is what is the idea. And then we will segregate it in a tabular form. Okay. So that is the problem that you need to do. Let me just, so that when it gets connected, we don't unnecessarily waste time. So let me do a little bit of theory. Then when it disconnects, just try it out. Within 5 minutes, I will come back. I'm here only. I'm not going to go anywhere. So that just use that time for the break to just continue. Now, one of the important things that you need to understand the meaning of output in each of these situations, because again we refer to cost sheet. That is what is a factory overhead. At factory overhead, what are the things that is there? Something that you have produced and sold. Has it gone through factory overhead? In your cost sheet, remember. Has it gone through factory overhead? Something that has been produced and sold. Has it gone through factory overhead?
Yes, sir.
Yes, because otherwise it will not be sold. For production, it has to, your element of factory overhead has to come there. Similarly, something that you have produced and not sold, this is your finished good stock. Has it gone through factory overhead?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it has. Otherwise, it will not be finished. It will not be produced without factory overhead. Similarly, which is in WIP, has it also gone through factory overhead? Some part of it, definitely. The stock in WIP, some part of factory overhead. Percentage may be different, but some element would have already come of factory overhead. May not be 0% of factory overhead. Some amount of factory overhead would have come. Therefore, when you look at output for the purpose of factory overhead, you have to consider all the 3: units sold, closing stock of finished goods, and stock of WIP. This is only to find out what is the input that has gone through factory overhead. Similarly, output for the purpose of admin, mind you. Admin, when you do, has it gone, this produced and sold, has it gone through this admin overhead? Without admin, can you have produced and sold?
No, sir.
Because that also cost has to go up. You look at the cost sheet, how the cost sheet is moving. Similarly, units produced and sitting and finished goods, that also will be loaded with this cost. It will be with that. Without that, it cannot be your finished goods. So if you look at it, when I did the table, this is a raw material store. This is your WIP work area. That is where the production is happening. And here you have got the finished goods store. And here is the admin overhead. So once it is, so from here raw material is going here factory overhead is getting charged, then it's coming out. What is finished, produced, it is coming here. Admin is getting charged. This is admin overhead. Then it is going and sitting here. Some of them out of this has been sold, right? So what is the first one? Unit sold. For this unit produced and sold. Obviously, the units produced and sold has to get the admin. Similarly, finished goods that has been sitting. So as I was telling you this, that this is a raw material store. Raw material store. From here, the goods are going to the WAP area, the production area, basically, production floor. It is being produced here. Factory overhead is being added. Then it is going to admin is being added. Admin overhead is being added, and then it is going to the finished goods store. So what is going through this is all units that has been produced and gone to finished goods and also sold. That also has to go through this finished goods. Therefore, something units that has been produced and sold has got an impact, has got a load of fixed overheads. Therefore, that should be taken. Any units that has been produced and sitting in store also has to be getting that effect. And whatever is in WIP also has to be taken. Therefore, for the purpose of output and for factory overhead, units produced and sold, that is this. Units produced but not sold, that is this. And what is in WIP, all should be considered for as quantity. For units sold plus closing stock of finished goods plus closing stock of WIP. For admin overhead, this will not come because this is not there. Factory overhead for admin, only that has been finished, gone through this process. That means this one, what is in stock as well as what is in sold, only will be counted as quantity. Therefore, for admin overhead, it is units produced and sold and units produced but not sold. For selling and distribution overhead, how it is happening after this selling and distribution is coming. So what has been produced and sold, only on that selling and distribution will go, not something which is sitting in stock. Therefore, selling and distribution quantity will be only units produced and sold, only units sold. That will be the quantity. That is what is the meaning of output. Mind you, this is very important somewhere and it may be required. So if you are not clear about which quantity to take for, basically why we have to take, suppose you want to find out the rate of overhead somewhere. With what will you divide? Which quantity to divide? This is the clue. So for that purpose, suppose you want to find factory overhead rate. What quantity will you divide? Cost is here. What quantity? That output. For that only this guidance is there. This output should be units produced and sold, units produced but not sold, and units partly produced. This is what is the idea. Now, okay. Now, admin similarly is, suppose admin overhead you want to find out, cost of admin factory overhead divided by which quantity? Only these two quantities, units sold and closing stock, because only for that this cost is being loaded. Similarly, selling and distribution, what is the thing? Selling and distribution cost divided by only units sold will be considered here in the quantity, so that you get the correct thing. You cannot apply the quantity of this quantity to this. That is wrong. Okay, that is the reason why this is being discussed. Now let us move on. Very important again. One of this concept is very, very important. When overheads are charged, this is a way you have to look at it. Because a lot of students have confusion here. Suppose there are 4 departments or 2 departments, A and B, 2 departments. The cost, if you are able to specifically, overheads cost, specifically say that it is relating to only this and some cost relating to this, that is called allocation. If some cost you are not able to identify how much is A, how much is B specifically, then that has to be apportioned to A and B in a particular ratio. That is called apportionment. Be careful. Some overheads are specifically known to a particular department. That should called allocation. Therefore, your first step is allocation. That means suppose one, two, three, so many overheads are there. So first overhead you take, you see, can I identify specifically with which department? Yes, you can identify. This one is really relating to A. Therefore, you allocate it. Then again, next one. This one is relating to B, specifically allocated. That comes under allocation. Third one, you are not sure. Oh my God, it's A, how much, B, how much, I'm not able to do. It is for both. Therefore, I'm not able to do. Then you go for apportionment. That is where you need to be careful. That allocation and apportionment is very simple concept, but you have to be very clear. Some cost, overhead cost, which is identifying cost center and charging it in full, specific and identifiable, and it applies only to one department. It's not for multiple. That thing, it is charged in full. That is called allocation. But there might be some overheads which are not specific only to one department. It is specific for multiple departments like A and B. Therefore, allotment of proportion of common cost to various cost centers. It is general and common. It is to many departments charged in proportion. That is called apportionment. Now let us look at some examples of apportionment. Then you will understand better. Allocation and apportionment. Mind you, first we have to go only for, first you have to see whether any cost that is coming in, you have to see whether you can allocate it or not. That's the first thing. If you cannot allocate it, then you go for apportionment for the particular cost. Then only you can go for apportionment. First you have to try allocation. If you are able to allocate, fine, because it's identifiable with only one department, that cost. Okay, now let us look at some examples of, that is, methods of apportion. Allocation is very simple. You know this thought, you just allocate. What apportionment, there is a judgment that is involved. So in that judgment, we need to find out how to do it. For example, indirect wages is there. What is indirect wages? Indirect wages generally say repairs and maintenance done at the factory office. That is not directly used. That person who is working there as a indirect worker is only doing maintenance work. He is not doing production. So that work, that is called indirect. It is coming under factory overhead, mind you. It's not direct wages. But the apportionment, the way you can do is, for example, A and B are there. How much is direct labor used in this? On that ratio, you divide this fact indirect wages. How much is labor used, direct labor owed? That way you divide it. Next, advertisement. How much to be divided among them? Because you don't know how much exactly. You cannot allocate it. Therefore, suppose, for example, this advertisement has been used only for this product, only for this department which is producing a specific product. Then there's no problem. Then you'll go for allocation. If you're not able to do it, then you have to decide, and based on sales, you have to do the bifurcation. Factory lighting, again common, number of light points. Rent, maintenance, insurance on floor space of the factory. Suppose this is the factory space. This one is A, this one is B. Therefore, according to the floor space, you have to divide these costs to the different departments. Depreciation, value of assets, how much assets have been done. So maybe this is small area, but the assets are huge value. Then accordingly, you have to divide it. This insurance and all. Personal department. Now we are talking about only apportionment. Allocation, if it's specific, you can do it. Number of employees. Personal department expense, number of employees. Power of machine, either HP rating or HP into machine hours. Next. What are the other things? Venus, can you read it? Next one. HP rating after HP.
Credit.
Ah,
Credit department expenses, value of credit sales.
yeah, value of credit sales. That is the basis. Now again, this is not something which has to be done like that. If there are better information, you can use that information. Okay. Next.
Supervision based on number of employees or time spent or direct wages.
Next.
Purchase department expenses, value of purchase or number or purchase order issued. Material handling expenses, value of materials consumed. General administration expenses, works cost.
Yeah. So there is no, this is the only way you have to do. Best available information, you have to use it to apportion the cost, because apportioning again is not perfect. In some basis you have to take. Now reapportionment, will come to that later. That we'll do it later. So I want you to just try this problem at home. This one. Tri-D has 3 production machines: extrusion, machining, and finishing, and a service department known as production services, which works for production department in the ratio of 3:2:1. So there are 3 production departments and 1 service department. The following is the normal activity budgeted. So these are the costs. So what I want you to do is, first you have to identify whether there is a allocation. If it is allocation, you have to do allocation. If it is if allocation doesn't work, then you have to do apportionment. Only this you do, and find out the total cost for each department. That is your homework. That means you have to calculate what is the total cost for each department totally. Let me see if there is anything else in the problem. Some other data is given, based on which you suppose allocation doesn't work, you have to go for apportionment. In that case, you have to use this data to divide it. Just now we saw in the theory, right, how to divide. So these are some data that based on which we did. Now here they have given some information. Based on the information, you have to divide some. You have to do the allocation based on these data and find out the total cost for each department. Don't do anything. That means you have to find out the total cost here. That's it, individually, for all the cost given here. So read the question. I'm not expecting you to do a 100% job. So don't worry about it. We will discuss this problem in detail in the next class. But I want you to try it. I just want you to try it out so that you are with the problem when we discuss in the next class. So you got a class on Monday. So till that time you got to do it, but try to understand that what we are trying to do is, first you identify whether any of the cost is allocation, and you do allocation. If it is not possible allocation, then you go for apportionment. And what is the basis of apportionment? They have given there. So you can take your pick and do the accordingly the way you want it. That's it. Only do that. Don't look at the other questions or not. Don't try to do that. Only I want to do that part. Okay. So that